A university is not something that one simply opens, like a savings account or a jar of pickles. Any self-respecting academic institution was doubtlessly opened long ago by dignified people who wore bowler hats and spoke via subtitle. The world is a creation of the past, and it is our job to keep it all going and try not to touch anything.
Announcement. I do this for your benefit, you know. Chicken should not be pink.
Welcome back, fellow students. It's me, DJ Shorts, keeping me finger on the pulse of 2 Point County so you didn't have to. Today's topic, would Jasmine Odyssey be cooler if she was less popular? I didn't want to spoil it for you, but the answer is yes. Here's a pretty niche favourite of mine from an actor I cannot even pronounce the name of. It's pretty challenging stuff. Check it out.
Starting in the science lab. students. We're more afraid of you than you are of us. Students for Scientography.
Man, I hear a lot of talk about snacks on campus. Although it's pretty derivative student chat, there's something I've got to say. Sure, cheesy gubbins are, well, fine. But if you're looking for a truly superior snack, you should try Grub Grubs, the snack that's made from real naturally expired insects. You might think I sound a bit crazy, I realise that, but I really appreciate the subtle taste. They do take a few months to arrive, but personally, I think it's worth it.
Announcement. The timetable is now live.
Now, it's time for a student story about a bakery that's jam-packed no more. Hugh, what have you got for us? I'm here at Old Widget Bakery in Hogsport, where for generations local students have been enjoying traditional jam donuts. But sadly, the sweetness ends here. The machine that fills the donuts with delicious fruity mixtures, such as red and green, has been suffering from jam rot and finally went out of commission today. To honour the machine, the bakery is serving donuts filled with nothing. They may seem hollow, but their taste is one of poignancy. A fitting farewell to a fine confectionery friend. Starting next week, the bakery will be back up and running with a new machine, looking to make new memories and serve lots of donuts.
Attention, your finger is not a toothbrush. Lecture starting now. Administrator, we need more dormitories. Thank you.
You want to make stacks of easy cash, but reading about stocks is really boring. Invest in Bunglecoin. It's like other fictional cryptocurrency, but with 40% less saturated fat.
Needed in dormitory. Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet. Janitor required in bathroom.
Here at Campus Radio, some of the team were a little concerned to hear that our listenership has gone down over the past few months. But frankly, I'm not sure that I agree. I'd much rather our little radio community stay as small as possible. I don't want the crowd ruining it and taking us from a cool underground scene to something bland and mainstream. In fact, my dream would be pretty much no one listening at all. Just me, talking to myself, for myself, all day. Now that would be pretty excellent.
Has insufficient accommodation. Oh dear. Janitor needed in dormitory. Janitor needed in Science Lab.
Sir Nigel Bickleworth on 2 Point Radio. It's me, Sir Nigel Bickleworth, the voice coming out of your radio here on 2 Point Radio. Isn't it a beautiful day in this little county of ours? Not that I'd know, of course. No windows in the old recording booth. And while I have made several written requests to our management, this is actually just the way I like it.
How desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities. Showering is technically but not socially optional. Janitor required in bathroom.
If it's quite all right with you, I'd like to discuss crockery. Any objections? No? Delightful. Yes, I don't know who needs to hear this. I'd imagine it's most of you, but plating is not optional. When you slop food onto a tray, you turn your food into slop. Remember, we eat with our eyes. Though I'm sure some of you will take that as an instruction to start shoveling chowder into your sockets.
Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet. End of year is approaching. It's too late to start trying.
It's time for Agony Answers, where I solve one of your tiny little problems with minimal effort. The following is from Forlorn in Freshley. Nigel, the other day I accidentally left my dissertation on the bus. Could you please spread the word and see if I can get it back? Thanks in advance. Well, this is what you get for riding the bus. As for your request, I'd love to help you, I really would. But if I did, how would you learn? You see my dilemma?
Janitor required in bathroom. Showering is technically but not socially optional. Janitor required in bathroom.
word from Smell My Cash. Being a student is hard enough. The least we could do is give you loads of money. Smell My Cash for students.
Yeah!
Sure, you have to pay it back, but that's future you's problem.
Janitor required in lecture theatre. Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely.
Sir Nigel Bickleworth laughing at you, not with you, on 2 Point Radio. We can all do with an occasional chuckle. It keeps the blood fizzy and the vitals convivial. So I present to you this next piece of music that is sure to give us all a good, long laugh.
Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet. starting soon. You're not late yet. Enjoy your summer. I know I will.
Oh, sorry. Wasn't that terrible? I needed that. On the subject of laughing, and indeed needing, I see that many of our county's students are petitioning for additional reading materials. Frankly, I find it very funny. If you didn't already possess all of the course materials, why would you start the course? How bizarre.
Summer break would be a convenient time for construction. Assistant needed in library. Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely.
Today on Sir Nigel Reviews, I was faced with the formidable task of critiquing the inventively named Chewy Gum. Yes, I am tasked with assessing the various merits and shortcomings of this interminable taffy. I like a jaunt and a jape as much as the next fellow, but I draw the line at such chewy vulgarity as this. Chewy Gum, thanks, but no thanks.
Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet. Has opened a new building. Good for us.
We're approaching the twilight of today's radio voyage. If you're just tuning in, then I am sorry. But like ships in the night, we pass for only the briefest of nautical moments. Perhaps we'll meet again in some distant port. Perhaps you'll get your act together and tune in earlier tomorrow. Who knows? I've been Captain Bickleworth, righting ships, dropping anchors, and running out of sailor talk on 2 Point Radio. Ahoy!
Announcement. The campus just got bigger. Not necessarily better. is technically but not socially optional. Assistant to the library. Thank you. It doesn't matter how desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities. Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely. Required in bathroom.
Welcome to the show. I'm Richard E. Hawthorne, and you join me today for 2 Point Radio's Election Day special. We'll be talking all things mayoral as 2 Point County approaches another important day in its history and indeed its future. Get in touch to tell us what you're thinking and how you're feeling. Who will be the next mayor of 2 Point County? You decide.
Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely. Announcement. Healthy body, healthy mind. I came up with that.
We're back. Today's election sees incumbent Mayor Tabitha Winsock take on all challenges. One such foe is Gumbo McNally. Yes, the cousin of Jumbo CEO, Jumbo McNally. Ms. Winsock has held a steady, some say tedious lead in the polls over Mr. McNally. But what effect, if any, will his last gasp speech have on today's proceedings? If you missed it, Mr. McNally finished a rousing 12-minute display with a story of how he once took a modest pile of change from his father and turned it into an impressive lunchtime spread featuring sandwiches, crisps, and sausage rolls. Oh, now that is impressive.
Teacher required to do some teaching. Thank you. housekeeping, thank you. Syllabus requesting new room. A new room for the syllabus. It's a bit drizzly outside. Please plan accordingly.
This from Michelle and Smogly. I spoke to Mayor Windsock after a Q&A once and told her that I'd written her a letter. She said that she remembered reading it, but I'd never sent it to her. So what? Did she break into my house? Or is she, like, telepathic, but just with post? What a lovely anecdote, Michelle. And aren't we lucky to have a mayor that's willing to go above, as well as beyond?
Are reminded to bounce back from heart-wrenching disappointment. Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely. We have a class without a teacher. That's a class without a teacher.
Now that's easy listening. The sound of 2 Point County on 2 Point Radio. Ricky Hawthorne waxing the waves lyrically and literally on 2 Point Radio. Why don't you listen to this next track and I'll take that pebble out of my shoe.
Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely. How desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities. Are reminded that the rain isn't my fault. Thank you.
We've got breaking news for you on 2 Point Radio. A zoo worker at the Crockle Bay Zoo has fallen into the gibbon enclosure. It's been reported that they're not under any immediate danger, and zoo officials are currently negotiating with the gibbons for the employee's release.
Without a teacher. That's a class without a teacher. Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet. Students are reminded to make requests, not demands.
Sometimes I get asked what I would have done had I not gone into the disc jockeying trade. Well, as a young boy, I dreamed of being a spy. Yes, I just can't do it. When it comes to disclosing secrets, you do. There is so much to learn in the wonderful field of gastronomy. Firstly, I suppose, that it's not an actual field, though with all the vegetables and livestock and so on, there may be rather a lot of time spent in a field. There you have it. The study of food really does cover so much ground that we only manage to scratch the surface and talk about grass. Let's have some music, shall we?
Students are reminded that you can't win either way. Has opened a new building. Good for us. Distracted students should pretend that they're listening. The campus has opened a new building. Good for us. questions, yes, classes are technically optional, and so is failing. Announcement. The campus just got bigger, not necessarily better.
I'm Maggie Watmore, remembering to breathe on campus radio. Are you ever reading or poaching an egg or something and you realise that you've not taken a breath in a while? Oh, I did it again. Let's all try and focus on our breathing during this next song.
Staff are reminded to care about students. Students are reminded that some of you are doing better than others. Announcement. The campus just got bigger, not necessarily better. Sleep is important, but you can do it later.
If you're anything like me, you're wondering why everyone is talking about cheesy gubbins. Thankfully, Hugh has the story.
Yes, the popular snack cheesy gubbins have brought campus life to a standstill with their Golden Gubbin promotion. The company has said that there are 6 of the solid gold gubbins to be found in promotional packages. Only one such crisp has been found so far, though the lucky student is with the nurse after swallowing it. Something of a crowd has formed outside the health centre, where they eagerly await for a first look at the opulent puff.
Security breach. Please change your passwords. Sorry. Announcement. The campus does not offer en-suite accommodation. Put your pencils down. Only kidding.
Ever been stressed about your future career? I know I have. Here's some wonderfully soothing advice from Campus Radio's coolest customer. I want to talk to you about your future. I hear far too many people getting wound up in all the worst ways over careers fairs. Sure, go. Take the free pen and the boring magazine, but don't stress yourself out. It's important to remember that all the jobs those people do won't even exist in a few years. The future is an unimaginable variable that can and will differ from everything we know in ways we can't possibly comprehend. So, why stress about it, you know?
Students are reminded to make us look good, or better. university gives you a bright future and clouds it with debt. Janitor required for groundskeeping. Thank you. Your future is in your hands, partly.
Mayor Tabitha Winsock has overseen countless disasters during her time in office. Who else can boast that kind of experience? Probably no one. Tabitha Winsock, you know what you're getting.
Now taking students for gastronomy. Announcement. Healthy body, healthy mind. I came up with that. Gastronomy students are reminded that I'm still waiting for my order. Showering is technically but not socially optional. Announcement. I do this for your benefit, you know. Requesting new room. A new room for the syllabus. It doesn't matter how desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities. Announcement. Please don't get caught up in something I've said.
for joining us on Campus Radio. This is Maggie Watmore signing off. Oh no, apparently we actually have a little more time. So, I hope you all have a wonderful, excellent, lovely rest of your days. And yeah, there we go. Goodbye.
Healthy body, healthy mind. I came up with that. Is technically but not socially optional. Doesn't matter how desperate you are, no urinating on campus facilities. Attention, your finger is not a toothbrush. Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet.
Sir Nigel Bickleworth on 2 Point Radio. Welcome to 2 Point Radio, where it's a great day. Why? Because I, Sir Nigel Bickleworth, am talking into a microphone. Can you feel it? Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Really, Dennis, if this is off again, I'm going to come in there and dunk you like a biscuit. We'll check that I'm on the air and be back with more sumptuous sound wave salaciousness after this.
Is a temple, and you wouldn't fill a temple with crisps. Attention, your finger is not a toothbrush.
Why is it that the youth of today believe they can churn out a radio show from the comfort of their toilet seats? The gall! In my day, one had to work for years, making sandwiches and polishing the communication tower before they even let you touch a microphone. There's more to radio than ability, charm, and technological literacy. Eager little autodidacts, the lot of them.
Janitor required in lecture theatre. Despite the rumours, the campus grounds are not a toilet. Janitor required in private tuition. Frequently asked questions. I believe that smell is you.
My darling, albeit slack-jawed, nephew Kevin ushered me through cyberspace and into the world of video games. Yes, I played the latest entry in the popular Meat Wizard franchise for Sir Nigel reviews. I was lost, I was cold, I was scared. The controller was sticky and the subject matter obscene. While I'm unsurprised that it appeals to the desensitized youth of today, I'll tell you what I told that chap in the deli. No one needs that much ham. One magical gem out of a possible 5.
Doesn't matter how desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities.
Mayor Tabitha Winsock has overseen countless disasters during her time in office.
Oops.
Who else can boast that kind of experience? Probably no one. Tabitha Winsock, you know what you're getting.
Requesting new room. A new room for the syllabus. Student requests for administrator. I'll add them to the pile. Doesn't matter how desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities.
To the news and the controversies surrounding Education Minister Tarquin Foxbridge, who allegedly blew his nose on official government documents. Stories like this are scandalous. It's perfectly clear to me that a group of students have fabricated the images somehow, and yet this poor minister faces all manner of backlash and public murmurings. And why? Because he was photographed doing something? I know a witch hunt when I see one.
Janitor needed in dormitory. Frequently asked questions. I believe that smell is you. Janitor required in bathroom.
It tends to be a one-way affair, this relationship of ours, and that's how it should be. What do you know about radio, after all? Almost nothing, I'd imagine. Still, it's time for that rare occasion where we put you, the listener, at the center of things. I am the aunt to ease your agony, the balm to abate what bites you, the A to all your cues. I am listening. Oh, and we're out of time. We'll get to your problems after this, all right? All right.
What's that smell? Oh, the cook-off is starting soon. bathroom. Attention, your finger is not a toothbrush.
It's time for Agony Answers with me, Sir Nigel Bickleworth. This week's problem is from student Felony Bogdropper, who writes, I've got loads of work but can't concentrate with all the noise in my flat. Well, Felony, I advise that you try a change of scenery. Work in the study. Write in the billiard room, mill about in the converted mill, why, read in the scullery. Your home is your castle. Utilize all of its many, many nooks and crannies. That's what got me through the hard times.
Interview results are now available. No unauthorized panicking. The timetable is not written in stone. Still, we're not changing it.
Do you like what you hear? Of course you do. So why not call in and let our producers know? Recent research suggests that over 97% of our listeners are incidental. That is, hearing by accident rather than intent. Collateral Johnnies, if you will. Nevertheless, I have faith that each radio segment, like a juicy needle in a haystack of filth, is found by someone, somewhere. Well done to you, today's deliberate listener.
A prospectus is not a promise, but a course is missing a classroom. Students are reminded to make requests, not demands. Assistant required at the Student Union. Showering is technically but not socially optional. Janitor required in bathroom. Despite the rumours, the campus grounds are not a toilet.
I'm Maggie Watmore, learning on the job on campus radio. Can I ask, should we be paying someone for using this next song? Sorry, I just really don't know. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. Here we go.
Janitor required in bathroom. Campus cook-off starting now. None for me, thanks.
Everyone on campus is talking about the county's education minister and the bad, or maybe good, thing that happened. Over to you, Hugh.
Yes, that's right. Emotions are high here in Croquembouche today as students have flooded into the city to protest the continued existence of Education Minister Tarquin Fawkesbridge. They dabbled in some chanting, but haven't been able to get into an easy and repeatable rhythm. We'll be here letting you know the wording they settle on as and when it happens.
Weather report. The campus is experiencing weather, presumably. Prospectus is not a promise, but a course is missing a classroom.
Do you want to learn better? Of course you do. Wanda, how do we do that? Everyone is looking for ways to study without all those hours in the library and pen stains on your fingertips. The latest way to trick your body into learning is to sleep with a book in front of or on top of your face. As you sleep, your eyes will occasionally open, letting in a little light and valuable knowledge. Try it for a week and see the results for yourself.
The summer is a good time to relax and prepare for next year. the academic year is now over.
You want to make stacks of easy cash, but reading about stocks is really boring. Invest in Bunglecoin. It's like other fictional cryptocurrency, but with 40% less saturated fat.
A prospectus is not a promise, but a course is missing a classroom. It's not your year, it's just another year.
Mitten University is an amazing place. I've only been there once, just went for the afternoon. It's pretty confusing though. There's so many different colleges and buildings. I was lost in its winding corridors and cavernous libraries for several days. It was a haunting experience, but I must say, very picturesque.
Students are reminded that some grades are personal. the books doesn't mean what you think it means.
It's the Harrison Wolf Show, baby. All right. This is Harrison Wolf, bringing you the Harrison Wolf Power Hour. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about colleges lately. Lots of study here, learn so-and-so, qualification this and qualification that. But let me tell you something they don't want you to know. It's a scam. All of it.
Students should stop and take a moment. Just the one. Now taking students for robotics. Students need a place to sleep. A bed, preferably. Students should check in before trying to learn. The timetable is not written in stone. Still, we're not changing it. Students are reminded not to walk and read. It doesn't matter how desperate you are. No urinating on campus facilities. Would have better grades if you weren't so stupid.
We've all been quizzed at school, but what really happens during a test? You get a question, you write down your answer, and then some bozo tells you that you're wrong. But who's to say they're right? What's so great